Hello everyone. So I'm back with a solo practice, and this week we're doing self-confidence. So self-confidence is to do with fire. And just before I begin, I hope you're enjoying these practices. I really love them. This is like a very compact version of the chapters, the last few chapters of my book, which are how do we develop the self through the chakras and the elements and the goddesses. So I haven't incorporated the goddesses in these practices, but in the book, I have a story for each chakra to do with different goddesses to embody that element, the development. You see her process through the development of that element's emotions. It's really beautiful. So self-confidence is related to fire, and fire is related to sight. Without fire, we can't see the world. We can't see anything. Without fire, nothing happens. There's no change. There's no combustion. There's no releasing of old energies and moving into a new state. So it's very important to have the fire element healthy. When there's too much fire, we can be arrogant. We can be irritated, frustrated. When there's not enough, there's that shame quality, lack of ambition. But when we have a good fire, there's clarity. We have perception of what is rather than misconceptions. We have focus, we have will and power to do those things. So power is about doing, about acting, and that is what the whole chakra, the third chakra, the navel chakra is about. So it's in the navel area. And it's about digesting things and retrieving the essence of that combustion, digestion, assimilation, and distribution. So it's all to do with discerning and finding out what's good for us, what works for us, what doesn't work for us, whether that's food, relationships, work, projects, people, situations, books, media, whatever we're taking in. Is that feeding us? Is that killing our fire? Is it making our fire aggravated or too fiery and aggressive and angry? So I've been watching a lot of political things and trying to understand what the hell is going on. Talking about fire, hell. There is way too much going on that isn't correct. And that has made my fire just so extreme. And in the beginning, I was just getting irritated. I noticed that, and then I started to combine collecting information with comedy to make myself be able to laugh about it. So now I can laugh about the ridiculousness of what's going on. If people still believe what they're seeing, then that's pretty silly. I don't want to get too political, but it is really taking over everyone's lives, whether we like to admit it or not. And I think if we want to be very spiritual, like I read last session in the self-esteem podcast, is we have to grow up. We have to look at everything and the complexity of life and be authentic partakers of this world. We can't expect some leader to come up with solutions. Most people are in it for themselves when they get to that spot. So, and we have to look at how we're contributing by not doing anything about it, or not being honest, or not even seeing. So again, here we come to that fire. Let's see clearly what is going on and get information from all sources, even with people we don't agree with, just to see. We can't find the medium if we don't know the extremes. So we have to know the extremes, and then we have to find all the nuances in between to get a complete picture. And from that complete picture, no matter how complex it is, we can find solutions. We can't find any solutions if we're just looking at it from one point of view all the time, which is what's happening. We're being dished up all these silly little answers, which have been created through models, through some idiot sitting in his office who has no idea about life and how beautiful it is, or how complex and painful it is. So anyway, you can see my fire is rising. That's fire. Okay, so too much or too little. We have to discern. That's the first step of fire. It's always discerning, getting the big picture of ourselves, of our emotional states, and also the world, if we want to go out there. And I think we need to. So how do we balance it? We can balance it really easily by first knowing what we need. If I have too much fire, I will take a cold shower. I will go swim. I will do activities like restorative yoga, or slowing down, or breathing out slowly. This will cool the fire down, bring us into that parasympathetic nervous system activation. What else? Letting go of control is a big one. That's way too much fire. Ambition, arrogance is high fire. We're trying to control, manipulate, coerce. That's all way too much fire. These people need shaming, because shaming is no fire. The fire's gone out. If shaming doesn't work, which is a problem for individuals like Trump or other leaders, Trump's not the only one. They're all just as bad. You can shame them what you like, but it's not going to affect them, because they are sociopaths, basically. They have no social connection to others. So then that's dangerous, these people having power. The only people who should have any power are social people who really live in the world. Anyway, I said I wouldn't get political, but you can see that fire is connected to politics. It's very strong. So I'm trying to read. My eyes I need to get glasses. I don't want to get them. I'm resisting, but I can hardly read what I've written. Okay, so after we've discerned and we've chosen the activity, if we have a lot of shame, if we don't feel that we have fire, if we don't feel confident with other people, if we don't feel we have value, even though we have done so much work, or we have accumulated so many assets and wealth, but we still don't feel that we are worthy beings, that we add value to the world. So this is a big part of sociopaths as well. Underlying their arrogance and their greed is a deep soul level of feeling undervalued. Somewhere in their past, they have not been loved for who they truly were, and therefore they are projecting this false self into the world, which has accumulated a lot of power, this false self, and they cannot drop it, because then they don't know who they are. So for them and for ourselves, it's to do and see. Okay, first to see what the problem is, then we can do something about it. So that's really important. People who have a lot of anxiety, we also lack confidence. And then the doing part is really important, because you probably see a lot. Okay, and then the same for depression. Depression also, people who are depressed see a lot, but they see it in the past. And it's not that it's wrong, but you've got to do something about what you see. If you don't take any action steps after you've seen something, you get stuck, whether it's analysis paralysis or depressed paralysis. You have to do something. You have to take action. So confidence is about action, autonomy, finding your own way in the world, standing up for your soul, self, desires. What are your own desires? That's where you're going to get self-confidence. Doesn't matter what people are going to think. Doesn't matter if you have to leave certain people, relationships, identities behind. That is difficult. But that is how we become a bigger self. How do we step into our own power? And when everyone is a powerful, autonomous human, then we don't need to hand over our lives, our livelihoods, and this infantilized way of living can be discarded, divested, which is what we all want. And that requires each of us to see and to act. So the element here, so navel chakra, Manipura, is fire. The mantra is Ram, R-A-M, Ram, Ram, Ram. You can imagine a triangle turned down And the energy, the consciousness is the top part of the triangle. So the point is downwards. And that is consciousness, seeing, perception, the will moving down to manifest, to create. So the point, the one-pointedness, the concentration, the focus we need to make something happen in the world. So just see this red triangle pointing downwards towards the earth. So the upper part is consciousness, perception, seeing the broad spectrum, and then that one pointed into action, material change. Take the mudra hakini, which is that you place all the fingers, the fingertips touching each other, the thumb as well. Palms are not together, palms are wide apart, and you place the hands in front of your chest and belly, more towards the belly, so it's in front of Manipura. So the fingers are wide, they're not close together, they're wide from each other. The hands, the palms are wide from each other. So you're making like a kind of triangle. And then point that away from you. So you're taking action, you're seeing, and you are moving forward into the world. You have to find out, discern what it is you want to change about yourself, about your environment, the places that you can influence, whether it's the people you teach, the people you love, the people you work with. Have influence in a powerful, authentic, autonomous way. Be true to yourself. There's so many deceitful, denying lies going on right now. Because we don't want to wake up, because it means it's a lot of work. Fire is about making that effort, doing the hard, heavy lifting. And then we use the breath, Ujjayi breath. So if you don't know what Ujjayi breath means, it's the victory breathing. And you make this sound by closing the back of your throat. You can kind of move your head slightly backwards and bring the chin into the neck. And you're going to make this sound like Darth Vader. I don't know if you can hear me. So this is to overcome this pranayama, this breathing technique. So we have the Hakini, Mudra, Ujjayi breathing. It's like Darth Vader sound. And you just make that sound very softly so you can hear it. Otherwise you're wasting your energy through the sound element. So the sense that's connected to fire is the eyes, the sight to see. Now see in front of you, your third eye, which is also connected, your mind is connected to the fire because it's your mental body, Manamaya Kosha, connected to Manipura. So see in your third eye a candle, the flame of the candle, burning bright. See the colors of orange, white, yellow, and blue. See the steady flame, and as you breathe, imagine that your breath is so soft, so slow, so subtle, that you do not disturb the flame. The breath moves gently past the flame without disturbing. And keep that image of the flame as you keep breathing. And then repeat the mantra. Ram, Ram, Ram. The out breath. Ram, Ram, Ram. And even when you do mantra, you can allow the breath to move out so slowly, so subtly, to extend the out breath, to keep it soft, and that you don't blow out the flame. Again, breathing in Yum. You can now feel this triangle in your body, mind, heart. And repeat the affirmation, or just say the affirmation to yourself. All I need to know is revealed to me easily. All I need to know is revealed to me easily. Just start to see, be honest, be clear. We cannot make the world into the place we want it to be without facing the truth of what is right now. And it's not pretty. We've got to be honest. Again, remember the second step of the niyamas: honesty, truthfulness. And not just of the beautiful things, also the ugly, and there are ghastly things. And we have to see them. How can we change anything if we're only working with the superficial, fun stuff? So think of these chakras. Each of them is important. Our self-esteem, our self-confidence, our self-knowledge, they're all important. And they're all interlinked. And they all have shadows. We can only get to the light once we've seen, released, embraced, liberated that shadow by really perceiving it for what it is. And in everything, as long as we're projecting it onto others, as long as we're seeing outside ourselves, the politics, the power struggles, the dissent, it's still happening within ourselves. And I know many of us, especially the workers of healing and therapy, we think we've done a lot, and there's still always more to do. As long as you're here, you've still got work to do. I know we're tired. I am. Sometimes I feel it's like one transformation after the next. You have hardly taken a breath, and you have to dive back in to the next thing. But it's also a beautiful path, and we can handle the challenges, the lessons, the teachings that we are receiving. Otherwise, we wouldn't be getting them. We're all strong enough. We're all made to connect. We're all made to see and to live autonomously, cohesively, co-creating this beautiful world. So, slowly releasing the mudra, releasing the ujjayi breathing. Feel the warmth in your body. Feel that fire element being a nourishing kind of warmth, like ghee, that clarified, or butter, yummy oil that's warm, nourishing. That's when we have a good fire. It's welcoming. It's enthusiasm, appreciation, admiration, recognition, acknowledgement. These are the beautiful aspects of fire. Confidence, worth, valuing. So absorb that, breathe that into your body, into each cell, down into the soul. Feel that you have awakened that fire of love, deep, soulful love. Okay, namaste. Enjoy your week, and you'll be hearing from me next week.